Go. Hey, so before this episode begins, I just wanted to take just one quick minute to talk about this episode because there's two things about it which aren't going to make much sense without the context. The first is that I made this episode as a sort of tribute. It's been exactly 1 year since I came home from work and was told that my grandmother passed away. It was very quick, it was very sudden. I was supposed to see her the next day and she just died, like, on the spot. So I based this one around a show that she used to like, so I go on to talk about that a bit more. But the other thing as well, which I would like to explain, is that the sketch portion of this is a parody of a movie. So if you think the plot is a bit odd, it is actually based off of a real film by David A.R. White called The Crime of the Century, I think it's called, with the exact same plot. So yeah, it's kind of like a spoof of that. So that's just to avoid any confusion. So yeah, I hope that this episode brings a lot of joy. It's probably the hardest one to have made, so.
Suppose a man goes to the forest with his neighbour to cut wood. When he swings his axe to chop down a tree, the head of the axe flies off, and it hits his neighbour and kills him. Then that man can run to one of the cities and save his life. If he doesn't go to one of those cities, the dead man's nearest male relative might become very angry. He might chase the man. If the city is too far away, he might catch him and kill him. But he isn't worthy of death, because he didn't hate his neighbour. That's why I command you to set apart for your 3 cities. That's a wonderful lesson for the day. I wonder what it says in the Bible about our dad's been in the bath. Huh? Where's it gone? No!
We are aware of that, but we just fucking hate you, Leslie. Hope you die, bye. Ah! Ah!
Fuck. Ah, bum biscuits. Why do I always get roofied? Oh, for God's sake, what's happening now?
Don't take God's name in vain.
Oi, you twat.
Who? Me?
No, the other twat.
Who? Me?
No, fuck off, the pair of you.
Okay. I'll tell you why you're here. A heinous crime has been committed by you bunch of pagan dickheads. A crime perpetrated, I can't even say it, by the most honour of the less brutes. A crime worse than rape. A crime worse than murder. One of you demon-worshipping, God-shunning motherfuckers has stole my Bible.
For fuck's sake!
Theodore!
Oh, for fuck's sake, I didn't steal your fucking Bible!
I never said you did. I said you probably did.
Oh, thank fuck for that. Can I go back to wanking off the pictures of Julia Roberts now?
So, for now, I'm going to ask, did you take the Bible?
No, I'm well stocked on toilet paper, you fucking prick.
Well, do you know who could have taken it?
Snowy, since she's a slag.
I'm not a slag. I haven't slept with anyone this week.
What about me?
Yes, okay. I slept with one person this week.
And me.
Okay, 2 people.
And me.
3 people.
And me.
Fine, and you.
Don't forget me.
And me.
I thought I told you to fuck off.
Okay.
Oh, this is going to take a while. Alright, well, let's say do that. I have something to play.
Well, what can I say? Miss Marple. Miss Marple, I gotta love her. Crazy old kleptomaniac bag. Okay, I haven't actually properly watched the show before, but from what I gather, Miss Marple is to old ladies what Bible Man is to Christians. She's what they all would be if they could, but sadly they're all just too old and senile to solve crimes like she can. Because my grandmother used to love detective shows like Miss Marple, Poirot, Morse, and especially Columbo, I figured that I'd cover such a game for the show.
Bit of a stupid idea, Gio. Bit of a stupid idea.
Yes, despite the fact that it's older than your dad's balls, Columbo doesn't actually have a video game adaptation, and neither does Morse. Morse I was expecting, but Columbo? It doesn't even have a shitty PC tie-in game, or even something from an earlier system like the Atari or something. In fact, 2 years ago, I would have been shit out of luck with Miss Marple, and would have had to have just deal with Poirot. The poser Frenchman prick. Anyway, I found a Miss Marple game, so we can all rejoice.
Now, Miss Marple is a game that I think could work quite well. I mean, if it was like Heavy Rain or like LA Noire, it could even make a good point-and-click adventure game. But this is not anything like that.
Now, 6 months ago, I would have said that they had the excuse of the source material not being the best thing to make a game about. But considering how good Desperate Housewives turned out, I'm now fully aware that a decent game can come from anywhere so long as the developers try hard enough. Now, I am aware of these games, specifically the Coronation Street game, which is apparently the worst thing ever made. From what I gather, the setup is exactly the same as that game. It's a hidden object game designed for... Actually, you know what? I don't even know who these games are for. No, really. They aren't point-and-click adventure games since there isn't even any interactivity. And they aren't visual novels because there's no story. So what the fuck is this going to be?
Hold your horses, my little cherubs. We've got to register the fucker first.
Yep, it's one of those games where you need to create an account on a website before you can play it. And my god is this a pain in the arse, since I had to find Britain First's address again. What's this? Do I want to receive letters about the game?
I don't know. Do I?
Yes. Yes, I do. Tee-hee. So the game begins, and we're immediately introduced to our mystery. The mystery being... On a dark, stormy night, this old bat, Elspeth McGillicuddy.
That can't be a name.
So, Elspeth McSillyputty fell asleep and let her tea go cold.
Well, There's a crime right there! Arrest that woman!
It's at this point that she heard a train on the parallel track. It's here that our adventure begins. Our first mission. Christ, just look at this carriage. Did Tommy Wiseau come through here? Well, apparently we have to find all this shit on the little shopping list to our left, and the key items, which are helpfully highlighted in black.
Isn't that just so helpful?
It would be, but you have to find everything on this list, whether it's relevant or not. I mean, there's a cactus on the list. A fucking cactus. Why? What the fuck is it for? By now you're probably asking, is this all you do?
Yep. Yes, it is.
The next stage is a train station, and Jesus fucking Christ, what happened here?
Just look at this room! Looks like it got hit by a earthquake!
Oh, speaking of messes.
Fine, I admit it. I'm a slug. I'm from Sluggingford, for fuck's sake.
One more question. Do you like bars?
No! Now fuck off!
Interesting. A Christian there who doesn't like Mars bars.
I'm not even a Christian, you daft cunt!
Now, Snowy, you said you didn't steal it.
No, I didn't. It was a twat in the hat. He must have sold it for drug money.
How dare you accuse me of such a feat? I make more than enough off of the street. I would never do such a horrific theft. A skill that you are actually quite deft.
I regret living with you now.
Thrown under here. Now, Snowy, one more question. Do you like Mars bars?
In which hole?
Your pie hole.
No, I prefer long ones.
Interesting. A slug who doesn't like to be labelled as one.
I told you, I'm not a slug.
Hey, twat.
Oh, fuck this. Let's just go back to work.
It's at this point in the game that I deduce that Miss Marple is a kleptomaniac. And no, I don't even mean that in a funny way. She has to take everything with her. She just throws it all in her purse. She's so driven to do so that she'll even shrink things like phone boxes or take things out of photographs or pictures of things that don't even exist.
Look, Ginger! My nemesis has left a calling card. A single monogrammed glove. Pick it up, Ginger. Yes, sir. Look, Ginger! My nemesis has left another calling card. A single monogrammed panty liner. Pick it up, Ginger.
So I have to, sir.
Of course you do. I'm incredibly busy. Look, Ginger! My nemesis has left another calling card.
What's that in, sir?
There, on that fat man's wrist. Quick, pick it up before the police bungle onto the scene and contaminate the evidence.
Yes, sir.
Excellent use of the monogram panty liner.
He's taking my watch. I'm taking notice, sir.
We must make good our escape, Ginger.
In fact, just mentioning a word will trigger her desire to just take shit. Like, look here, some guy says the word fox as a metaphor for someone, so it prompts her to steal a random fox. Oh, and as you can guess, this game is pedantic as fuck with its objects, and the way that it describes objects is pretty fucking weird as well. For example, at this point in the game, I had to find 2 leaves. However, I found 6 leaves around the room, and guess which one of these it actually was? If you said numbers 1 to 6, then you're completely and utterly fucking wrong. It was actually this leaf right here, which is more or less fucking invisible. Isn't that just the best? Why is this even significant? Why is it even... It's not even a real leaf. It's a carving of a leaf. If the carving had some sort of scratch on it, or had carved a secret message inside of it, then I'd at least get it, but nothing like that is going on. It's a picture of a fucking leaf. You can't even smoke it, since it's not even real. So they also deliberately get really vague with their wording as well. For example, at one point it told me to find water. But clearly it cannot just be water on its own, since water needs a container to keep it in, or it makes a bit of a mess on the carpet. So it should have said cup of water, or jug of water, but instead it decides to be as vague as fucking possible since it doesn't want me to guess it right away. I know that being a bit more precise would make things a bit too easy, but considering that this is literally a game where all you do is find things in a picture, I think we've gotten past the point where challenge is even achievable at this point. There is actually, for hardcore Miss Marple gamers, an option to have a timer on these segments. An option that I avoided like death itself, since that just sounds way more annoying to me than anything else. I mean, this is boring doing it for the first time. I can't be fucked doing it more than once. Not to mention the fact that you have more or less unlimited clicks anyway. In theory, you could just click every inch of the screen and win that way. The closest thing to a penalty for this game is taking control of your mouse and using Black Adam's magic to make it go fucking crazy by spinning it around all over your screen like this. Yep, and then it just ends. That's it. That's the worst it'll do to you, and even that is very easy to avoid, since clicking everywhere in rapid succession doesn't trigger it, and clicking repeatedly on one spot seemingly does. Why it penalises you for that is beyond me, considering that there is no advantage to clicking the same thing over and over and over again. Like, whatsoever. You also, if you're completely stumped, like I apparently was 129 times,
129, 129, 129, oh, 129.
If you were stumped, then you can click on a hint, and if you click on the hint, it will just blatantly point out an object to you, because it knows that if you need a hint, then you're an idiot and you just need it pointing out to you.
You would think I'd be complaining, but I really just don't care at this point.
Hell, the only thing that I do care about is the fact that you can only get so many hints that you can use at once. 4 at a maximum usually. I'd honestly like a fuck this do it for me option. That'd make this game way better. Actually, there is such an option for the mini games. The fact that I said that these are mini games just made a bit of vomit pool in my mouth. However, this is the only time where the gameplay changes at all. So all you're really doing is missing out on any form of variety that the game has to offer. Those mini games include moving a bunch of images around in some form of container and finding shit like coins and pound notes. Okay, look, Miss Marple, someone has just died. This isn't the time for sticky fingers. Can't you think of anyone but yourself, you old cow? Oh, and you also have to look for acorns like Scrap from Ice Age. Yep.
Toss in the hat.
I'm the twat in the hat, there's no doubt about that.
Just shut the fuck up!
Did you do the Bible?
I've already protested my innocence, I've nothing to hide. Well, except for my illegally imported Russian bride.
The Bible says that's fine, but where's my Bible?
Oh, for fuck's sake, I'm just gonna go back to my original case that's fictional, but it still matters more than this one.
So, I arrive at the police station, and this is where the game gets kind of fucking hilarious, as I just start randomly taking shit out of a police station. You can even steal evidence of a crime. Well, that's how dedicated of a thief you actually are. I mean, tell me, Miss Marple, oh master detective, how is a violin found in a police station going to help you solve a case that happened miles away on a fucking train? For that matter, what the fuck's a picture of a sailboat going to do? Face it, lady, you have a problem. One thing that I find pretty funny though is that the murder case has already been closed. Yeah, a woman is missing, an eyewitness claims she was murdered, and the police have just closed up shop after, I'm guessing it's been 2 days? But you can't give up an investigation like this. In most missing person cases, a person is considered missing for 8 years at a minimum before they can be legally pronounced dead. Not to mention the fact that the murderer could be out there, ready to murder again. This hasn't even been out 8 days and you're considering closing up shop. So I steal the file because why not? Right, so Elspeth McGillycuddle disappears and I hire a spruced up young thing as my companion.
I'm like Doctor Who now, except I'm an old woman. Which is better than I imagined.
Actually, wasn't there an episode of Doctor Who where they met Agatha Christie? The author of this very story, supposedly. I wonder what she'd make of this. Well, as someone else who's written a book, I can tell you how I'd feel. If that's any sort of comparison.
I'd be fucking pissed!
I've been playing this for 36 minutes at this point, and I don't think I've ever been so fucking bored. Seriously, out of all these games, this game feels like an eternity. It's not fun, it's not even a game. This isn't a detective game, not in the slightest. In fact, the detective aspect doesn't really come into it until the very end. And I honestly struggle to concentrate on it as the entire thing just keeps distracting me by telling me to pick up random shit off of the floor. Holy shit. This is Pick Up Random Shit the Game 3.0. Who asked for this?
Oh, I asked for this apparently. I mean, I did want a Miss Marple game.
Wait, what the fuck am I even saying? I wanted a game, not this fucking shit. Seriously, every level of this just makes me feel the exact same way.
I think you're becoming a suicide bomber.
It never changes. There's not a frigging difference from beginning to end. And therefore, it's really hard even to talk about this fucking thing without repeating myself. So at this point, I'm just going to talk about the story and do my best to ignore how fucking irritating this game was. Because, yes, I did finish the bastard. If I wasn't doing this for a real purpose, I wouldn't have bothered. I could have quit this after level 3 and given you the same review. Hell, I wouldn't have even bought the fucker since it was around £30. £30 for this shit! I mean, that's what you'd pay for a new release. Hell, I could get Until Dawn and Wasteland 2 for that on my PS4, and it would be a much better experience than this fucking shit, let me tell you. The mini-games are like a breath of fresh air, especially the Poisons mini-game, the one that gives you a few science files to pour onto various food items, including this yellow one that, well, it does look a bit suspect.
And you can't piss on hospitality. I won't allow it!
So after a few chapters, it asks who the killer is. And amazingly, if you don't get the exact same guy and get it right in all 3 chapters, then you suck apparently. As far as I'm aware, it doesn't really affect anything though. Now, the first one that I thought of was the war veteran, who apparently never left the war. I thought that this might indicate that he had some sort of post-traumatic stress disorder, and possibly murdered the woman out of a blind rage. All that I had to go on was speculation at this point, so it was my best guess. Then they start hamming up this guy here, the dad, but I knew it wasn't him, he's too obviously the dickhead red herring. He did have a motive, I admit that. The motive being that he aimed to outlive his children, and given that he's getting on in years, it seemed more than possible that he'd have to cheat, and therefore become the killer. But it was more likely that this was someone else, more likely the son who was having money troubles. Maybe he wanted the others bumped off, so that he could get the inheritance for himself. Well, my 2 suspects were then bumped off, and I was back to square bloody one. Or was I? Both of these guys were poisoned, and the poisoner knew that it would kill one of them straight out, since it reacted violently with his medication. The others who were also poisoned survived. So, who has the medical knowledge to poison someone?
Wait, what? No, not me, I'm not a suspect!
At this point, at the end of the game, it just made the most sense. So I fingered him.
And then I made him my prime suspect.
And then it was confirmed, inconclusively, by the fact that he had the same back of the head as the killer and was therefore definitely the killer. Wait, why didn't they just do this from the start? Like, line them all up? They have police lineups, right? Can't you do the exact same thing but just make them pose in a different position? It'd save a lot of time. Alright then. What I found pretty funny though was that Miss Marple actually chokes on a fishbone, and the killer has to save her. Yeah, a great detective. She needs to be saved by the guy she's trying to bust.
Ah, what does it even matter? She'll be dead soon anyway.
Actually, that's not too far from the truth, since the character of Miss Marple in the TV show was played by a number of different actresses due to the fact that the people playing her were often in their twilight years and obviously wouldn't last especially long.
So you accuse me, you clueless ape, for your crime that's apparently worse than rape? Some detective you are, blaming the twat in the hat. You ain't a good detective, you're nothing but a worthless...
I have to give credit where credit is due and say that everything in this game that it does bother to do, it does do it quite competently. The sound effects are fitting. In fact, I actually thought that the sound of a crow was actually coming from outside at one point, and the music isn't exactly so good that I'd go out and buy the OST, but it equally doesn't grate on me either. It's serviceable, which is a godsend since it never really ends. The art is pretty nice and everything looks like it's supposed to, and as shitty as this game is in its design, it's done right, I guess? Especially if you compare it to the god-awful Coronation Street one that has no music and no anything else. Don't get me wrong though, this is the most sickening game I've ever played. It's not a game. Hell, Girl Zone was more of a game than this shit is.
Yes, I did say that.
I suppose it's better than Hercules. It's at least a game. Sort of. It's more of a game than that, but it's still fucking shit. I honestly don't know who plays these games. Old people? Only why would they? They don't play video games to begin with, so why wouldn't they play this? And if they were interested in video games, would they even play this? A lobotomized idiot could beat this. It took me around 3 hours. You might have been able to do it quicker if you memorized the rooms better than I did. Repeated playthroughs of them. Honestly, this game is just so bland and boring that I honestly can't say anything good or bad about it. It's not incompetent in its nature, nor is it good. It's not worth getting remotely worked up about in the slightest. Hell, as I say this, my memories of it are fading quicker and quicker into, well, nothing.
That leads me to Geo.
Oh, piss off, I have my own Bible.
It's not an official Bible.
Oh, God forbid.
I'll tell you not to take the Lord's name in vain.
Wait, what the fuck did you just hit me with?
You're a fucking prick, man! Ah, you gun fucker! No, no! Oh, Jesus, help me! Ah!
Hey, Bible man. Let's see if you believe in Jesus after this.
No!
Come on, baby, everyone doing the bam-bam. Well, you gotta feel that beat. Oh man, it sure is neat. It's got me tapping my feet all up and down the street. That's the stuff I eat, that wonderful bam beat. When you hear the missile whistle, you gotta roll and rock. Oh baby, when you hear the missile whistle, you gotta roll and rock. Come on, baby, everyone doing the bam-bam. When you hear the missile whistle, you gotta roll and rock. When you hear the missile whistle, you gotta roll and rock. Come on, baby, everyone doing the bam-bam.
A broken branch. Yeah, because there aren't any broken branches around here. Wait. What the fuck is that? The Sky God has come to take me home!